Ooh, driving home review from a new cinema, because it's been a combination of we've not had an awful lot of money, and on top of that, we've not had stuff we really want to see massively lately. However, today we went to see the Marvels after discussing it earlier and saying money is tight, we should just wait for it to come on Disney Plus because it won't be that long. And then I had the thought of, no, I'd like to treat Paul because I know it was something that means a lot to him because of the representation elements. So I booked us in for another cinema that's not a million miles away, but
you can look, love.
Yeah,
it's a two-way street.
State over, and is literally half the price. Then you're going to McDonald's. This is just McDonald's.
That's the oh, now it's rerouting.
Yeah. They were nicely lit up for, hey, thanks for lighting us in our video.
Apparently we can go out this way according to this.
Yeah, we're going to go back round to where we just were. And
this is why you shouldn't always trust sat nav.
I think it was just upside down. Oh look, we can see into the hotel rooms. See if people are doing shagging.
That's a very you thing to want to check.
That's just the first thing that goes through my head. So yeah. So anyway, none of this is what anything to do with the film because we've been to see the Marvels, and I don't think I can talk about this film without being spoilery. I just can't. It's going to have to be. And I've only really got one word to say, and that's memory. I haven't laughed that much at a film in I have no idea how long.
To be fair, I don't think we've laughed that hard and heartily in general for quite some time, so thank you the Marvels for that.
Oh my god. To give it a little more context for us, 4 years ago probably, we booked a Can You Hear This Rain? We booked a secret cinema through our Cineworld cards, and it was just before the Cats film came out, and we turned up at the cinema and every single poster case had the poster for Cats, and so it's become a thing that we were walking, please don't be Cats, please don't be Cats, please don't be Cats, and we were going to walk out. If Cats started, we were going to walk out. I might need the light on. Yeah. And it's remained a running joke that there will just be, stuff or scenarios, and we'll look at each other and we go, please don't be Cats, please don't be Cats, please don't be Cats. So when all the Flurkins hatched and the opening bars of Memory from Cats started playing, I was finished because it was just, I never thought I'd hear a song from Cats in a Marvel movie ever anyway, and then we were both starting to go, please don't be Cats, please don't be Cats, please don't be Cats. And it was just glorious watching all these people running away from these kittens.
The whole sequence is just insanity. Words don't do it justice, basically. It's absolutely purely visual.
I'd say
glorious.
It's worth seeing the film for that sequence alone. Oh god, I started crying for laughing again. It was just so funny. Oh god. But what a film. I loved it. I know there's a lot of like there was a lot of, the week before it came out, there was a lot of it's gonna flop so bad because the pre-bookings are down so much. I was like, well, that means shit all, realistically. And then it's had the worst opening box office weekend. Yeah, but it's also had no marketing, because up until I think the day it opened or the day after it opened, The actors were under the SAG strike, so they weren't promoting the film. And as we have a saying in advertising that we always use to clients, business goes where it's invited, and nobody was inviting anybody to go and see this film. I do think it also one thing that could be a negative impact is a casual Marvel moviegoer really couldn't go and see this. You've got to have, to a lesser degree, WandaVision, to a lesser degree, Secret Invasion. But if you haven't watched Miss Marvel, you're pretty fucked.
Yeah. Although if you haven't watched Miss Marvel, go watch Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, if you haven't watched Miss Marvel, what's wrong with you? But, you know, for people who haven't invested, or perhaps, you know, don't pay for Disney Plus because they've already paying for Netflix and Amazon and, oh God, you know, any number of streaming services. You know, if Disney, well, if you're really into Marvel, you'd get Disney Plus. That's the end bottom line, isn't it? So, but again, if you're into Marvel, you're at that point not the casual viewer I'm talking about. So yes, the casual people that turn up and make things like Infinity War such an enormous success are probably put off by this. I can understand that. But I just thought this film was a hoot from start to finish. I've seen reviews that say that Zoe Ashton's not really up to scratch in it and hasn't got a lot to do. I don't think that's really the case. I think it's just this, as a cast piece, it's very much ensemble. I mean, if you look at actual Thanos' involvement screen time, I'd imagine it's probably not large in those movies, and you wouldn't say that Thanos wasn't a big bad. And yeah, so I disagree with that entirely. I think the whole cast are completely solid from start to finish. With
the chemistry of the main three is off the charts.
Yeah, especially given, if you believe Hollywood rags, Brie Larson was very unhappy about her billing being diluted in her second movie. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know.
I doubt that very much. That sounds more like
clickbait shite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the knife in, because again, it's a female lead, and female leads are notoriously emotional and backstabbing because they're female.
And they menstruate and everything.
Yes.
Get a fucking grip. Journalists, to be fair, are the worst for that shit.
Yeah.
And ridiculously female journalists. Yeah, I think the media's got a lot to answer for a lot of bollocks these days. Is that a police car ahead of us? We've got to turn this light off. No, okay. Even though I don't think it's actually illegal anyway, but
it's not. I remember we looked that up last time we were asking about it.
So yes, I loved it. I thought it was great. The end coda. I did say to Paul, I said, they've mentioned Professor Marvel one time too many. I think there's something X-Men-y coming, and there was. And then Hank. At least Hank Pym then, wrong Hank. Hank McCoy walks past in the background, and I just clocked the blue hands and just sort of had a moment. And Paul hadn't seen what I'd seen, so he was like, what? And I'm like, and then he walked in front of the camera, and I was like, the hands, he still hadn't seen it. And I was like, and then you hear Kelsey Grammer talking, and you're like, well, this is going to be one thing. So yeah, how's that panning out? That's starting to integrate all of the X-Men films, all of them, into the multiverse, the MCU multiverse, which is incredibly exciting. I suppose even the Phoenix ones, which were terrible, and what was the other one I really didn't like, with Oscar Isaacs as the baddie?
Age of Apocalypse.
Oh, yeah. I mean, basically for me, X-Men movies, X-Men X2, Days of Future Past, and First Class.
I like the Wolverine.
Is that the one where he goes to Japan?
Yeah. It's basically where they were going to do the whole...
I watched a pirate copy half asleep. I'm not sure. I should probably rewatch it. I don't know. Wolverine Origins was fucking bollocks. I mean, I mean, utter bollocks. Thank God they've retconned Deadpool. But yeah, so anyway, we're not talking about that. So I love this film. I think it's got a lot of heart, a lot of comedy, and it does do a lot for sort of normalising diversity in main casts. 3 female leads, an Asian, an African American, and a white girl. You know, I think having that as a team up in itself. To be honest, my actual thought on it is it shouldn't even be something mentioning because it just shouldn't even be a thing.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we live in a world where it is a thing, so I do have to mention it to try and get it to a point where it's normalised, if that makes sense. I'm not sure that does. Hopefully you know what I mean. I've just rabbited on for like 10 minutes. Your turn.
Well, you've pretty much covered most of what I love. I mean, it's genuinely a comedy movie in the best sense, because it is just, it's a lot of fun to watch. It's got really good writing. I mean, the writing is spectacular. I mentioned just the chemistry of the cast is spectacular. It's an absolute delight seeing Iman Vellani on the big screen, and just her whole family as well. They absolutely steal the show. Go on, I know you want to say some more.
You know what I want to say about the mother? Watching her walk around a space station with a handbag. Yeah. I was finished. I put it on there. Oh my God, she's got her handbag. It was just. We all know that woman. We've all got that woman in our family. I was looking at that and going, "Oh my God, it's my nan in space." Oh, just so good.
Walking and judging.
Yeah, so good.
And checking for dust.
So good.
But yeah, so as I say, you know, Iman Vellani absolutely nails the transition from effectively small screen to big screen, and you know, kept the character. And just, I think one of the joyous things I loved about this movie is the nods it gave to it. It's sort of, I mean, you know, Paul talked about the whole, you know, this isn't a casual viewer friendly, and yeah, although it's possibly not quite as obtuse as some of the previous ones have been, in that you could enjoy this as a just a superhero movie.
Yeah.
But it really also does pay homage to it. So it's like a lot of the stuff at the beginning with Ms. Marvel's character is just absolutely feeding into the same energy and style and format as the actual sort of mini-series was. Just fantastic. I leaned over while the credits were rolling and sort of whispered to Paul that I think this is actually one of my favourite Marvel movies of all time. Just on an initial viewing, you know, just because it just hit all of the right notes in all the right places. Fantastic cast, fantastically diverse cast. The fact that you are, you know, you've got an American Muslim superhero up on screen, especially at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really important to kind of, you know, keep that representation going. Just fantastic. Do yourselves a favour and go and see the film.
Do the film a favour and go and see it. It deserves to not have this record of being like, the worst Marvel ever. Oh my God, Marvel's doing superhero fatigue. Blah 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 blah. Because this just, it does it different.
Yes.